The tenets of democracy are skills for living in our society that include tolerance, critical thinking and decision-making, thinking together and making meaning, power sharing and empowerment, and individual responsibility and civil involvement with others. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. These sophomore students are beginning a unit on environmental health that involves both their English and health classes. The students will work in groups of 3 to produce 5-minute videos on an environmental health topic. The teacher encourages the students to show individual responsibility as they work on their projects.
We are beginning a new unit, and just like I've done on all the other units, I have a calendar for you, and I'll give you just a couple of minutes to take a look at it. The rubric for this project that we're going to work on next is on the back, and I'll explain how we're going to work the project and what the groups are after everybody gets a handout. You can see it's a little bit longer than usual, and that a lot of it has free spaces, meaning that you've got a lot of work time. We've really worked on being independent learners this year, and I'm really excited about how you've taken responsibility for your own learning. So as we go into this unit, that's one thing I know that you'll enjoy, that as I give you more and more responsibility and you take more and more responsibility, then you've got more of the planning time that you'll be responsible for.
The English teacher shows the students an example of a video that was produced by another group of students. She engages the students in a brainstorming session to find ways of improving their final product. The students display critical thinking as they observe the transitions in the video, then describe what they would do to make the video better.
I've got one video that kids did 2 years ago, and I just picked this one. It happens to be on the front of that tape from that year, and I thought it might be interesting for you to see what they were capable of 2 years ago. You're going to have much better software, and you have a much better technology background than that class did. But it might give you some suggestions as to how they handled it, what they did, and of course, you're going to recognize everybody.
When she comes to the stop sign, she makes a complete stop and looks both ways. What is wrong with this situation? She rolls through the stop sign and does not yield to the pedestrian. In this situation, you see Trisha doing the right thing. She stops at the stop sign and allows Nathan to cross the crosswalk. Pedestrians always have the right of way.
If you were on this production crew, what would make this video even better?
Better transitions.
Okay, more transitions. Now, when you say better, let's go with Brittany's idea. What would improve them? Let's define better. What does better mean?
Like it looks like they just stopped the video and then they restarted again.
All right, so when we learn the software, one of the things we can key in on is how can we make those smooth transitions? Now, we all watch Channel 1 at this school. Your assignment the next couple of days, how do the professionals do it? Watch when you're watching MTV or whatever you're going to watch tonight or this weekend. Start looking at how long the camera shots are and what kinds of transitions are effective.
The English teacher allows the students to indicate to her whom they would like to work with. The students experience empowerment when they are given some control over the activity.
And we would like in this unit to give you a lot of say as to who you would work effectively with. Because also we want this to be a learning experience. You're going to learn a lot more than if Miss Dewey and I stood up here and talked about electric cars or we stood up here and talked about pollution. But as you learn about electric cars or as you learn about pollution, we also would like to have it to be a comfortable learning experience. So I'm going to have you sign up according to health and English so that you are with kids that you can work with in the 2 class periods. But then I'm also going to give you a card and you can say who you would like as your first choice. Why don't you put one name down and we'll try as hard as we can to put you in groups up with your first choice. All right, so let's sign up. And everybody can get up. Let's just put these right here.
The teacher also promotes individual responsibility by encouraging the students to divide the tasks for the project so that each group member has a well-defined role.
As we look at groups that will be effective, I'll tell you that one other thing Miss Dewey and I will be looking for is an even split. We need a computer person in each group, somebody who's going to be your techie. We need somebody who is going to be your pusher, somebody who will be the person who's in charge and kind of keeps everybody on task and keeps going. We're going to look for groups that work effectively together. We'll probably need somebody that's pretty good with interviewing or speaking or writing questions or researching, so we'll take that into account too.
The students will use either iMovie or Avid Cinema to create their videos. First, they complete tutorials for the video editing software they will use. The teacher promotes individual responsibility and civil involvement with others by encouraging the students to work cooperatively to solve any problems they might encounter.
I would like to wander around and answer questions, but I hope that you can figure out an awful lot of it on your own. I hope that you will look on the computer next to you and ask them, or try and figure it out from the tutorials so that you're in charge of your own learning. But because I know there's going to be things that you don't know, put a cup up on top of your computer if you want me to come and answer a question. And I'll try to keep moving around, but if I see a cup up, I'll come over right away so that I know that you can't get any farther than you are.
The students then begin editing the video footage for their projects. These students display thinking together and making meaning as they work together. They engage in a dialogue about the content of their video, working toward a solution that each group member can agree with.
That's what we wanted.
So you're going to have some nice shot variety right there then too.
This one too, right? Yeah. And I think we should move that one too.
Yeah, but we don't know where to put it.
Well, no, I think it should go right
after
it. Yeah, because that one.
Did you have something from your storyboard? Or you can deviate from your storyboard. I'm not saying that.
We kind of are.
Okay. I was going to say if your storyboard would help you at this point.
Are you saying put it right after?
Yeah.
I tried doing that when I was putting them in the front, and I ended up putting the title in between them because it looked really bad because it's not a continuous motion thing.
Okay. Well, what if we put a transition in there or something? Because I mean, it doesn't make sense that it's just random.
Well, I know, and we would have moved it, but it's just.
Put it. Can you put it back up on the shelf? Of course, then we had two transitions. I don't know if it will go.
Well, one of them will just become invalid, I think.
Okay, the one hooked to it. You're right. The one in.
So we can put stuff about Rise
Right
there.
Right in here.
And then do we still want the posters, or do we want to move that too?
We could leave that almost.
Will it make sense though? Because it's not. These aren't at Rise.
Right. Well,
So we could start with like a Rise sign, and then show them working, and then we'd have to show a Wilkie sign if we wanted to use those posters.
we could do that though. I mean, we have the Wilkie's clip.
And we could maybe just take a still of that or something.
Right.
The school library media specialist gives the students some guidelines for assessing the credibility of the information they have included in their projects. She encourages critical thinking by having the students identify some criteria they could use to evaluate their sources.
What's another way that you might evaluate information? Kate?
Like if it came, where it came from, like the source, like if it was from, the Weekly World News or if it was from New York Times.
Okay. What the source is. What's the authority of the source? Is it an expert? Is it something you've heard of before? Or is it something a little obscure? So that's a good point. What's another way to evaluate, Katie?
How deep it goes into like your topic.
Okay, how deep it goes into it. What's the scope of the whole thing?
Then, the library media specialist has the students compare two of their sources of information.
Then list two sources of information. Get together and decide between the two of you. Where have we gotten our information? Then I'd like you to have some discussion on this and decide which of these two sources was the best source of information for us, which was not the best, and I'd also like you to decide whether you still need more information and where you think you need to go to get that. Which of those was the better source of information for you so far?
Probably the health textbook.
All right, because
It had a broader range of information. The city clerk we got information for the noise ordinance.
okay, and that was kind of a specific kind of information. So Yeah, he was probably the best source to use for that piece of information, right? Yeah.